brings us to our next guest, who is a guy who we've seen fight. It's been a minute, but brings a huge crowd. Is a great personality. Is a hard-hitting son of a bitch. He's with us right now, Mr. Jim Davis. Jim, what's up, brother?
Hey, how you doing?
Man, I appreciate you taking the time out to join us tonight. The fight is in just a couple days, and it's been a minute since you've been in action. How has this training camp been for you? I know the fight was supposed to happen on the last Turf Wars. It's going to get to go down Saturday night. Are you ready?
I think I'm ready, yes, sir. It's been a pretty good training camp. Brought in some old buddies from Vision and some old friends and just a lot of big guys, and we just been going at it, kind of old school.
Speaking of old school, I mean, you're one of those guys that's been around for a while. You've got to see a lot through your career, dating back years ago, and it's been a couple years. What brought you back? What was that, that deciding factor to come back and welcome the new breed, such as Jesse Ray Childrey, into the professional ranks?
Well, as you know, one of my dear friends and training partners passed right at the time of my last fight, Chris Smith. And that had an effect on me as far as training and everything. So I took some time off, man. I really wasn't into it. And switched shifts at my job, and didn't have time to train properly and stuff like that. So getting back into it, I started getting in shape again. I started getting excited and going to the fights and watching everything good, all the other fighters fight. And I really just wanted to compete again. And when Rod and Kerry approached me with this Jesse Ray fight, I said, yeah, let's try it. Let's do it.
I've seen, like you said, I've seen you out and about at the fights, enjoying yourself. How hard is it for you, from a guy that's been there and been in competition, to sit back and watch your friends or watch these guys go at it, knowing that you still have something left in the gas tank?
Well, it is kind of tough. But then a lot of people sit back and they say what they could do, or they could do that better, or back when they were fighting they could do this better. And so instead of sitting back saying it, I'm going to actually give it a shot. So I'm going to, I know this guy is pretty talented, and I heard he's a pretty nice guy, and I'm actually looking forward to it.
The one thing that if people were to look up Jim Davis and notice is that, your wins, it does not take you long to get the job done. Like I said, you're a heavy hitter, and that's kind of been the biggest criticism of Jesse Ray Childrey, is that his striking isn't up to par. Even though he's not lost, when he's fought strikers, he's shown weakness. Do you feel that that's the good matchup for you? You're a guy that can go out there. You have the power to put it away early. How do you see this stylistically matchup for you?
Well, it's no secret. I like to bang. And, I was a super heavyweight for most of my career, as you probably know that. And I just, I like to get in there and throw hands and get hit. I like that part of the competition. I really do. And stylistically, I've actually seen Jesse Ray fight a few times, and I think he could take some punishment. I've seen him, in some trouble and come back and do good and end up winning. So, I got a lot of respect for this kid. So, I think it's going to be a good matchup. I know he is more like a jiu-jitsu type, wrestling type fighter. And, that's where my camp's been, trying to prepare for that. But, I'm excited. I think it'll be a good fight. I think I would myself rather fight a striker, but, I would rather fight someone that is not going to try to take me down. You know what I mean? But you know, we can't all have what we want.
You know, going back to the last time I saw you fight, you have that crowd, you have that support behind you, and I'm sure that's going to be there Saturday night. You get to fight locally. You know, I know you're familiar with Rod and Kerry, and you fought for Turf Wars before. What's that like for you? You know, you kind of get to come back. You kind of get to be the hometown guy. You're going to have that support there. That's got to be a great feeling, right?
It is. It is. You know, there throughout my earlier parts of my career, you know, I think because I was super heavyweight and I was knocking everybody out so quick, I kind of got a little following. And, you know, it seemed like people recognize me. And, you know, a lot of people support me. I mean, people I've never seen before, you know, walk up and say, I can't wait till you fight next, right? You know, I'm glad we came out tonight to watch you fight. So I've been getting that quite a bit lately. When are you going to fight again? We used to love to go watch you fight. And I think that is somewhat the reason why I want to try to get back into it and compete more. And, you know, no matter, you know, this fight, I've already accepted to fight on another card, too, after this. So I just want to keep it going.
What's the biggest difference?
In the hometown? Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, what's the biggest difference, you know, now that you're back in, you've got a couple fights lined up, what's the biggest difference in Jim Davis 2007 and Jim Davis 2014 as far as getting ready for fights, taking fights, and being prepared?
Well, 2007, man, it was just all about fun. I remember we would just go to Columbus or wherever, and it would just be me against whoever their biggest guy was, and it was just really good times. I was with G-Force when I first started out, and it was just awesome being around those guys and learning with training with a lot of the guys that are big now. Roger Bowling, you know, Chris Bennett, just a lot of those good, talented Cincinnati guys I came up with, and it was really fun just to go to the fights with them and compete, have them in my corner, and now the difference now is a lot of those guys are off doing their own thing, and you know, I'm kind of doing my own thing too. It's a new crop of guys to train with, and I don't know if there's much difference. It's different being 265. I know that. You know, cutting weight and actually having to make weight. I like super heavyweight better.
Well, I saw your pose down with Jesse Ray. You didn't look. I mean, you're big, obviously, but you don't look much over 265. Is there much of a weight cut for you? No, it's gone real well. My girlfriend is really good with diets, and she helps me out quite a bit as far as that goes. And it's real easy. It's real easy this time. My last 2 or 3 fights have been heavyweight, and when I fought Dan Christensen, I don't know if you remember that. That was pro debut, right?
Yeah, that was my pro debut. That was really hard for me as a weight cut, and that was my first time, and that was really tough. I learned a lot from that. So,
that's what's strange about our area here. Your pro debut was against a guy who'd had 3 fights in the UFC. It's not like you got an easy fight, right? You know, you're the local guy. You got a ton of fans. You're undefeated as an amateur. And, oh, by the way, you're going to fight Dan Christensen, who at the time was on, like 8 out of his last 9 or something crazy.
Right, yeah. Yeah. When I was an amateur super heavyweight, I went on a roll that year, and I was just knocking everybody out. So there really was nobody else for me to fight. So I had to go pro. And I remember when the ICF, you remember that league when it was around? He called me and he said Dan Christensen, and I thought for like a minute literally 1 minute, and I said, yeah, let's do it. Yeah, it was a real good experience for me. But I think a lot of people thought I probably shouldn't have took it. But, I had a good time. I learned a lot from that fight. So
Absolutely. How many people can say that? I made my pro debut against a straight killer. With no risk.
Right.
There's no reward.
Well, that's what I thought. If I lose, hey, I'm supposed to lose. If I win, look what I just did. You know what I mean? So, and I've kind of been like that. I've tried to be like that in my career. I don't try to think that this guy's unbeatable. I actually thought I was going to beat Dan that night. So until the ref said that was it, I thought I was going to win. So,
That's the people don't understand that about fighters. You have to think that way. You can't go into a fight doubting yourself. That kind of defeats the whole purpose, right?
Yeah. I've always been very confident in myself. I can hit hard. I think I got a pretty good chance in just about every fight. So I think I'm all right.
I can attest to
like
that.
I said,
Jim Davis, one of the hardest hitting fools I've seen in the business.
I appreciate that. Well, that's all you got. That's all you got. I'm not going to no NAGA tournaments no time soon. So.
Hey, go with what you know, brother. That's
right.
Dance with who brought you. That's what they say.
That's right. And it's funny because being in for my corner in this fight will be my old coach, Ron Gableman. So I'm real excited about that.
Wow. I love it. Ron Gableman's one of the best guys in local MMA, just in general. Trains top talent and is just a great person. I love Ron Gableman.
Yes, he is. And I'm happy he's back in my corner.
Well, Jim, man, we are excited. This is I don't know, maybe it's hard for you and Jesse Ray to kind of feel the hype, but this is the fight. This is the fight that everybody's talking about. This is, the big guys. Everybody loves a heavyweight fight, and they love good heavyweights, and you bring the power. He's got that finesse as far as, his jiu-jitsu and wrestling. This is the fight that I think is going to be the fight of the night for sure. I appreciate you taking the time out. Before I let you go, any shout-outs or thank yous or anything you want to throw out there to our listeners?
Well, I'd like to thank Turf Wars for inviting me back after such a long layoff. I'd like to thank Jesse Ray for accepting the fight. I don't know how he feels, but I'm probably not the easiest person he could have fought. I'm sure he could have found somebody else. So that says a lot about him and his team. And my girlfriend for helping me diet, and that's about it.
Well, man, I appreciate the time. The fight goes down this Saturday night, Turfway Park in Florence. Jim Davis versus Jesse Ray Childrey. Jim, take care, man. We'll see you Saturday.
Thanks, brother. See you.